Hey guys, this is the all-new Toyota Innova Zenix. You know what you're thinking, that this is probably a replacement model for the current locally assembled Innova, but it's not a replacement. In fact, the current generation Innova will continue to be sold, with UMW Toyota saying that that is going to be marketed more towards commercial users, where else the Zenix, this is the car that you want, the MPV or SUV that you want, depending on how you look at it, if you want a people mover. Now, this is where things get interesting, because while the previous generation model was priced between 115 to 133,000 ringgit, the latest Zenix, Innova Zenix, is priced from 165,000 to 202,000 ringgit for the top of the line model that you see over here. I know what you're thinking. Why is the price so much more different? In fact, nearly 100,000 ringgit different than the model that this Innova takes after, the CG model. Well, it's not just a replacement model. Once you understand the intricate details of this model, you'll understand why it costs up to 100,000 ringgit more. So I know what you're probably thinking, that the price justification, well, you're probably thinking that it's probably a bigger car, but the fact of the matter is, in terms of sizing, it's just about the same as before. Well, in terms of body sizing, the new Innova Zenix is 20 millimeters longer. It's also 15 millimeters wider. It's got a 100 millimeter longer wheelbase, but the height of the car remains unchanged. But that is minuscule in terms of sizing, because as soon as you take a look at it, it actually does not look that much different. The front overhang, though, is much shorter. That means the wheels have been pushed further, and the rear has been pushed backwards. What this basically translates to is more interior room as compared to the previous model. In terms of design, well, this is the top of the line HEV model, which costs 202,000 ringgit. From the exterior, there's actually not much different than the V model, the one that costs 165,000 ringgit. But you can see that there's a clear update from the model that it replaces. You get LED headlights, you get a more aggressive front end, you get these 18-inch wheels, and then from here you get this cameras at the side that are part of the panoramic view camera, which is basically Toyota lingo for 360-degree cameras. And then from the back, there's more LED everything from the back as well. So in that sense, it's actually a much prettier packaging than the model that it replaces. Yes, it looks a lot more premium as compared to the model before. And if you didn't already know how much the previous model cost, this new pricing shouldn't be that much more shocking. The model that you're looking over here, this is basically the HEV model, the hybrid model. So what that means is there's actually an electric motor somewhere under there with batteries to further supplement the internal combustion engine for a combined system output of 186 PS and 188 Newton meters of torque. One of the key differences over here is that, as compared to before, where power was transferred to the back wheels, now power is transferred to the front wheels via a 10-speed CVT gearbox. The hybrid is obviously designed for efficiency, but it also has a higher power output as compared to the internal ICE model, which has an output of 174 horsepower and 205 Newton meters of torque. But one of the key difference over here is the interior as compared to the previous generation model. The interior, well, it looks so much more premium as compared to the model it replaces, which was starting to look a little bit dated. Now you get full leather seats, premium leather seats in fact, and you get this 10.1-inch screen over here, which gives you wired as well as wireless Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. You get a 7-inch multi-info display which is colorized, and the key takeaway over here is the fact that it feels a lot more spacious than before as well. Even though in terms, the numbers suggest that the difference is minuscule, when you sit in here, which is what really matters, everything feels well put together, everything feels spacious, and for taller drivers, there are no complaints. The thing about modern Toyotas is that they've seemed to carry on the quality, the high quality theme, for what Toyotas are so well known for, and you get that in the new Innova Zenix as well. Everything feels well put together. You get a Type C USB port, a Type A USB port, a 12-volt socket over here if you need further charging, and it's just generally a very nice place to be in. One of the key informations that you need to know is that the new Innova Zenix is built on a monocoque chassis, around a monocoque chassis. So what that does is that it gives the car, the Innova Zenix, even though it's an MPV, it gives it a very car-like atmosphere in the interior. Now, sitting in the second row of seats in the new Toyota Zenix, this is the HEV model, which is the flagship model. So hence why you get these captain seats, which actually give it a very premium look and feel in terms as far as interior comfort and interior ambience goes. You also get this full panoramic roof, which provides for a lot of light in here, which makes it feel more spacious. Now, one very important thing to note is that the new Toyota Zenix is actually built on the TNGA platform rather than on the older leather frame platform. So what that results in is better packaging. Also, because this is not a plug-in hybrid, but a regular hybrid, is the fact that usually batteries are placed under the passenger compartment, but this time the batteries have been placed under the front passenger compartment, hence why you get these things over here, because this is where the batteries are housed. So what this basically results in is more passenger room for the second and third row passengers, and you definitely feel it. Another thing that I really like over here is the fact that the air conditioning vents are mounted on the roof rather than at the bottom, because this is where you want air conditioning vents to be placed rather than at the bottom here, because this is just going to be cooling your knee rather than your face, which is what you actually want to feel. Now, air conditioning vents should be placed on the roof or at the side here for maximum cooling. So how much more spacious is the Innova Zenix actually? Now I'm about 6 feet tall. I'm going to try to get in between these seats and try to make myself comfortable in the back seats. Let's see. Need to get my footing right. That wasn't too difficult actually. I mean, I wouldn't want to be back here for a long distance drive, but the fact that there are air conditioning vents up here would certainly make it a lot more comfortable than what I'm usually used to. Now, third row seats are usually very cramped, very claustrophobic. I do suffer from claustrophobia, so I usually don't like to be in places like this. But what I really like over here is this large screen, large window that you get here, so that too lets in a lot of light. And you're not sitting that far away from the back window, so it feels very spacious in here. There's a lot of light, so that helps with anyone that's suffering from claustrophobia. You also get cup holders and a lot of storage space at the back here actually, which I reckon would make a long distance drive rather tolerable. So there you have it then, guys. A first look at the new Toyota Innova Zenix. I know what you're thinking, that it's probably very expensive, but as I have shown you, the interior definitely feels like it. It definitely feels premium, feels high quality, and that's not all. It also comes with a host of safety systems. Now this actually comes with the Toyota safety system, Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. So you get safety systems like pre-collision system, a dynamic radar cruise control, auto high beam, lane departure alert, lane tracking assist, road sign assist, and then that's not all. You you also get other safety systems such as vehicle stability control, ABS, hill start assist control, emergency stop signal, 6 SRS airbags, and a lot more else. So kind of justifies the price if you ask me, and it definitely feels a lot better than the model that is sort of replaces but doesn't. So of course there's the regular Innova CG if you still want a budget people carrier, if the Innova Zenix is still a bit pricier for you. But at 165 to 202,000 ringgit, the Innova Zenix has a first impression. Doesn't seem all that bad. We will reserve our final judgment until we actually drive it, but for now, well, the specification list seems to fit the pricing. Thank you for watching. Do consider subscribing.